What's up, everyone? Jason Gilbo here at JGilbo11, taking a look at the NFL stacking to win it for Week 16. This is Justin Elix's article, aka Big Elite 42. So just reviewing his stacks here before we head into the little holiday here. And looking at this, we're just looking at the Saturday main slate. So not really taking a look at the Sunday games or the Monday night. So just looking at main. Raiders and Colts, first one here, and looking at the Raiders side of things. You look at Michael Crabtree, you look at Amari Cooper, never quite priced, as they should be, kind of more on Crabtree's side. Cooper, I mean, his price has dropped a little bit down, but still not where you like it for a guy who hasn't really been showing up, for most games this season. So I think, here the thing is Carr, Murray, and one of the two is kind of where I can see going with this one. I could see a nice 250, touchdown game from Carr, with Murray kind of going with the 100 yards, possible upside, two touchdown, type game. Um, the thing here is, I mean, it's Crabtree Cooper. It's one or the other. It really has never been both in the same game, which is always a problem with the Raiders stack. But you look at this one, I mean, while the Colts have been playing better, this is still a home matchup against a relatively mediocre defense, poor running defense as well. Vontae Davis is probably the only respectable secondary player that you can have. And even him, I'm not, particularly afraid of shying away from. So I like this one. I like this total. I like the other side. I like working in correlation plays into this, like a T.Y. Hilton, like an Andrew Luck, kind of on that side. So, I'll be looking to mix and match from this game. It's a game that your Raiders still have a lot to play for. Colts still have a lot to play for. So that's kind of key heading into Week 16 here with a lot of teams kind of out of it already. Looking at top stack number two, obviously a home matchup for Drew Brees. It's always something that you like. Drew Brees, I mean, 8,500, not a bad price on FanDuel for me. I mean, I figured 9K would be what he's at. Obviously struggled at home against Detroit, struggled on the road against Tampa just a few games ago, bounced back in a big way against Arizona. This is not an expensive stack here for, the FanDuel. This is obviously wrong. 3,900 is not Michael Thomas's price, but FanDuel price here, I mean, 8,500, 71.69, not bad. I'm not in. I'm not in on the run game here for the Saints. I'm not really dancing around with the split shares with Hightower Ingram at this point. I like these three quite a bit. This is one that has a lot of upside. Team total at 27. Home matchup where basically outside of the Detroit game, we've seen Breeze in this offense just kind of completely roll through. I think you're going to see that here. Looking at these other two options that he lists here, Tim Hightower, Kobe Fleener, Willie Snead, these are guys you can really only work in if you're just kind of going with multiple Saints stacks, because at this point these core guys right here are just the ones you're going to need to focus in on. Contrarian stack this week, he's looking at the Packers, and obviously this is offense that's completely rolling right now. Aaron Rodgers in a pretty good price tag here at 6,700 for DK, 86, not that bad. I'm not really expecting a lot of guys to be on the Packers. Ty Montgomery probably can draw some higher ownership given his numbers last week, but still a reasonable team total there, about 24.5. Home matchup against Minnesota. Packers, obviously keep playing, have a shot at the Lions there. You really look missing Harrison Smith. This line isn't getting a ton of pressure. They're struggling against tight ends. Jared Cook's really come to life. This defense has kind of been trending downwards here a bit of late. So I definitely don't mind the Packers kind of a contrarian stack altogether this week, because I think you're just going to kind of get individual pieces here and there and not the whole pie. So certainly looking at these guys. Jared Cook will be another one to kind of toss in there. Randall Cobb has the better of the three wide receiver matchups if you're looking at Newman and Rhodes on Nelson and Adams, but Jordy Nelson's still by far the higher upside, higher floor guy. So certainly like that. Value stack this week, and Texans and Bengals, team total of 20.5. Tom Savage stepping into play here. 6,300 salary on FanDuel, 5K on DraftKings. So I mean, close to bare min quarterback on FanDuel, but DraftKings he is bare min. Lamar Miller also not priced up relatively high. DeAndre Hopkins not priced up high. this is not a good defense that find particularly shying away from. I just think you can actually look at them. I like Lamar Miller in this week. I think he's a good GPP play. Tom Savage could be a guy who checks down to Lamar Miller. Obviously, Hopkins is just going to be a guy who's going to be beamed with 10 plus targets, regardless of who's under center. And we saw Savage really look his way when he came under center last week. So, take it from Justin himself. He calls this Bengals defense a disappointment, ranking 18th against the run and the pass, so bottom half against both. I think pairing them up here with a lot of high upside plays is certainly a good idea with this stack. I mean, you can kind of mix and match. I definitely don't mind it. So I'm going to snake in here and kind of give one more cheap, cheap stack, and that's Blake Bortles, Allen Robinson, Marquise Lee this week. Um, Obviously, if you're rolling out those guys, you get the beers ready next to you because it could be a long day. But there also is some upside against this Tennessee secondary that still is not particularly good. Home, game there for Bortles. I could definitely kind of see that putting up a decent game against the secondary. So if you want to, kind of follow along with me, I'll have some Blake Bortles and Allen Robinson going this week. So if you feel free to celebrate with me or just kind of log off and close those tabs early, I'll be around. So be sure to check out this article that Justin wrote up. It is up on the site now. Be sure to check out the rest of our Week 16 content.